Imagine a pitch-black Oregon highway at midnight, the trees closing in like a suffocating tunnel. Headlights are glued to your bumper, matching your every move and flashing in a cryptic, terrifying pattern. You sprint into a gas station for sanctuary, but the clerk's face turns to stone as he whispers, "Don't turn around, he's right behind you." This is the chilling true account of the 2014 Eugene SUV Stalker and the survival signals that stand between you and a predator. The road is a different place after midnight. In the forests of Oregon, the darkness doesn't just feel empty, it feels heavy, as if the trees themselves are leaning in to listen to the hum of your tires. For anyone who has ever driven the stretches of Highway 126 or Route 58 outside Eugene, you know the sensation. It is a tunnel effect, mile after mile of towering Douglas firs that swallow the reach of your headlights, leaving you in a vacuum of pavement and pine. It was 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday in 2014. I was driving home from a late shift, the kind of night where your brain feels like static and your only goal is the warmth of your own bed. The route was a mostly empty highway, the kind where you might not see another pair of taillights for 20 minutes at a time. It was peaceful until it wasn't. About 10 minutes into the drive, a pair of headlights appeared in my rear view. At first, it was a comfort, another soul in the wilderness, but as the minutes ticked by, that comfort curdled into a cold, sharp anxiety. The vehicle, a massive SUV, wasn't just behind me, it was glued to my bumper. No matter how I changed my speed, slowing down to 50, then accelerating to 70, the SUV mirrored me perfectly. It stayed so close that I could no longer see the front of its hood in my mirror, only the aggressive, searing glare of its lights. Then, the psychological warfare began. The driver began flashing his high beams, not once to signal a pass and not twice to warn of a hazard. It was a pattern. Long flashes, short flashes, a staccato rhythm that felt like a language I didn't want to understand. In the vacuum of the Oregon woods, these bursts of light are more than an annoyance. They are a weapon. High-intensity discharge lamps reflected through a rear-view mirror can cause flash blindness, a temporary loss of vision that leaves you vulnerable on winding two-lane roads. I tried to tell myself I was being dramatic. We all do it. We call it politeness, or we call it rationality. But in the back of my mind, a voice was screaming. This is what experts call the gift of fear, that primal survival intuition that recognizes a threat before the logical brain can categorize it. The SUV wasn't just driving, it was reacting to me. I decided to test the intent of the driver. I took the next exit, a sharp turn onto a secondary road characterized by the new infrastructure of the Eugene perimeter, 2 right turns and a roundabout. Roundabouts are designed to reduce fatal collisions by 82%, but that night it served as a tactical testing ground. I entered the circle, the SUV inches from my fender. I went all the way around. He stayed with me. Every turn I made, every shift in direction, those high beams hit my mirrors again. My stomach dropped. I wasn't just being followed, I was being hunted. My father's voice came back to me then, a piece of advice I'd heard 1,000 times but never thought I'd need. If you're ever being followed, don't go home. Never show them where you live. Go somewhere public. Driving home is a save now, pay later scheme. It gives the predator your location and traps you in the isolation of your own driveway. The nearest sanctuary was a gas station 5 minutes away. Those 5 minutes felt like an hour. I was driving with white knuckles, the SUV looming like a shadow in my mirror, masking the driver's face behind a wall of white light. When I finally swerved into the gas station lot, I didn't park at a pump. I slammed the car into park right in front of the glass doors and sprinted inside. The air inside was cold, smelling of floor wax and old coffee. The clerk, a man who looked like he'd seen 1,000 graveyard shifts, looked up. He didn't ask if I needed gas. He didn't ask for my ID. He saw the terror on my face and immediately shifted into a state of relaxed attention. As the door behind me swung open again, the clerk leaned forward and whispered so low it was almost a breath, "Don't turn around, he's right behind you." I froze. I could hear the slow, deliberate footsteps on the linoleum. I stared at the glass door of the soda cooler in front of me. In the dark reflection of the glass, I saw him. He wasn't looking at the snacks. He wasn't heading for the register. He was just standing there, a tall figure in a heavy jacket, staring directly at the back of my head with a singular, terrifying focus. The clerk's hand moved quietly under the counter, reaching for the phone. He told me to stay there, his voice calm but firm, the kind of intervention that bridges the gap between a victim and a survivor. He signaled for 911 and moved me toward the back room. I sat there, shaking, until the air was finally cut by the high-low wail of sirens. The moment the first police cruiser pulled into the pool of light under the canopy, the man bolted. He didn't run for his SUV. He ran behind the building, disappearing into the wall of trees that lines the highway. Officers searched the area with canine units and thermal imaging, but the forest in Lane County is vast and forgiving to those who want to stay hidden. They found the SUV abandoned. It was an older model, reported stolen out of Portland weeks earlier. Later, a detective sat me down. His words made the coldness in my chest turn into ice. "You're lucky," he said. "We've had multiple reports this month, all women, all followed late at night by a man in an SUV using the same headlight patterns. Some of those women hadn't found a gas station. They had sped home, locked their doors, and prayed." The detective was blunt. "You probably avoided something very bad by stopping where people could see you. I still drive those highways. I still see the Douglas firs crowding the pavement like spectators, but I don't look at the trees anymore. I look at the mirrors. I think about the tactical mechanics of that night, the way he used light to blind me and proximity to steer me. I think about the 3-turn rule and the sanctuary of a well-lit store. The man was never caught. He remains a shadow in the archives of Lane County, one of the pre-incident indicators that walk among us. Every time I see a pair of high beams in my rear view that stay a little too long, my hand goes to the lock. I can still hear the hum of the cooler in that store. I can still hear the clerk's whisper, "Don't turn around." Because sometimes the thing behind you isn't just a car. It is a predator waiting for you to lead it home. If you're out there tonight on those long stretches of Oregon Road, remember, trust your fear. It is the only gift that can save you when the shadows start to follow.